Ladies and gentlemen, while the world watches ammunition counts, Russia has quietly captured a queen on the global energy chessboard, one of the most valuable lithium deposits in Eastern Europe. This isn't just another territorial gain. It's a strategic seizure that could reshape the future of global energy politics. The Shevchenko deposit in Donetsk isn't just any mineral resource. It's the crown jewel of lithium reserves in the region. We're talking about a deposit that could make Russia a dominant player in the battery technology race, potentially controlling a resource more precious than oil in our electric future. The disputed territory holds an estimated 500,000 tons of lithium, more than Portugal, Europe's former lithium champion. This deposit contains high mineralized spodumene, making lithium extraction significantly easier and more cost-effective than traditional sources. This metal powers everything from smartphones to electric vehicles. It's the backbone of energy storage systems that will define our technological future. By securing this deposit, Russia isn't just gaining territory. It's securing leverage over global supply chains for decades to come. The implications are staggering. While Western allies scramble to maintain their strategic positions, Russia has effectively captured what could be called the Saudi Arabia of lithium. This isn't just about military control, it's about economic dominance in the emerging green energy market. For the average citizen, this means the future cost and availability of everything from electric cars to home battery systems could increasingly be influenced by Russian strategic interests. We're witnessing a pivotal moment in the reshaping of global energy politics. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, especially if you're in regions feeling the impact of these shifting energy dynamics. Remember, we're not just reporting news. We're tracking the seismic shifts that will affect your daily life. The world is changing before our eyes, and understanding these changes is crucial for navigating our future. This lithium development represents one piece of a larger geopolitical puzzle that we'll continue to monitor and analyze for you. The geopolitical chessboard continues to shift, and Russia's strategic mastery becomes increasingly evident. While the world watches, Moscow methodically secures territories and invaluable underground assets that could reshape the global raw materials landscape. The recent developments in our western neighbors' territory demonstrate this perfectly. What's striking is how these lithium deposits, worth billions, remained untapped for decades. The territory, caught in political turbulence, never capitalized on these resources. Now, Russia's methodical approach is changing the game entirely. For our viewers following these developments, I'd be curious to hear your perspective on how these resource developments might affect your local economies. The Western powers, who dreamed of turning the region into their raw materials ally, face a stark reality. Brussels scrambles to revise its rare metal strategies, while Washington frets about supply chain disruptions. Portugal's position as Europe's lithium leader looks precarious. Russia's approach has been efficient. No grand announcements, just systematic execution. The Shevchenko acquisition isn't just a military achievement. It's a strategic economic coup. While the conflict zone remains locked in uncertainty, these lithium deposits grow more valuable by the day. The future of energy isn't just about oil and gas, it's about lithium. While the West builds its green tomorrow on batteries, they're realizing that without Russia, they might not have enough power for their devices. This isn't just a response to sanctions, it's an economic masterpiece with decades-long implications. Meanwhile, the country on Map 404 focuses on promised Western aid that arrives more slowly than expected. But the reality on the ground tells a different story, one of strategic resources changing hands without fanfare, but with profound implications. The stakes have shifted dramatically in global geopolitics. Russia's strategic advances in the conflict zone have secured vital lithium deposits, the foundation of Europe's future battery production. This isn't just about territory anymore. It's about controlling tomorrow's energy resources. Meanwhile, Trump's Middle East peace plan reads like political fiction. Imagine 4 adults deciding how to divide someone's apartment while the owner is in the bathroom. In this case, the Palestinians, the actual stakeholders, weren't even invited to discuss their own future. According to Israeli media leaks, the negotiation atmosphere between Trump, Netanyahu, Senator Rubio, and Israel's strategic planning minister Ron was euphoric. They crafted a plan that seems detached from reality. Peace in Gaza, Hamas in exile, hostages freed, and Arab nations managing the sector. Israel, in response, merely contemplates a two-state solution without any firm commitments. This diplomatic theater becomes more surreal. Americans would recognize Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, West Bank, while Saudi Arabia and Syria suddenly become Israel's best friends, forgetting decades of tension. The plan also suggests voluntary evacuation from Gaza, a concerning euphemism for population displacement, especially following 11,000 civilian casualties. Trump plays multiple roles in this diplomatic drama: peacemaker, negotiator, and capricious patron. He reportedly pressured Netanyahu to stop strikes on Iran, despite recent U.S. actions against Iranian targets. Trump's position shifts faster than Wall Street trading algorithms. The most troubling aspect emerged in backdoor discussions: the revival of an old idea to relocate Palestinians from their territories. What seemed impossible in March now appears as a carefully disguised strategy within the evacuation proposals. The entire scenario resembles a carefully orchestrated performance, rather than serious diplomatic effort. With Russia securing critical resources and the Middle East being reshaped through backroom deals, we're witnessing a profound transformation of global power dynamics. What do you think about the current events? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective. Breaking news: geopolitical chess moves reshape Middle Eastern dynamics. In a surprising diplomatic twist, Saudi Arabia and Syria have aligned with Israel in negotiations backed by the White House. The conditions for Israel's peace readiness mirror corporate humor, like a boss promising bonuses for impossible achievements, including learning to fly. Meanwhile, Israeli forces continue operations in Gaza, with hostages still captive and Hamas maintaining positions. Negotiators promise resolution within 2 weeks, a timeline as believable as quick renovation projects through multiple contractors. Trump's unexpected timing of discussions with the leader of the politically turbulent region raises eyebrows. As media attention shifts to Middle Eastern drama, complete with helicopter footage and new players, the conflict zone bordering Russia finds itself competing for spotlight. The stark contrast between negotiators' perspectives and ground reality is striking. Their version paints pictures of peace, progress, and reforms. Reality shows Palestinian absence from talks, lack of local support, and numerous conditional what-ifs. This isn't a peace plan, it's responsibility redistribution. Israel hands Gaza to Arab nations to deflect pressure. The U.S. acknowledges sovereignty in disputed areas to demonstrate support. Hamas becomes Egypt's problem. The situation resembles a clearance sale before new terms rather than a deal of the century. With Trump's potential return, his tendency to revisit unfinished business with less diplomacy looms large. From the northern shores to western borders, interesting shifts in narrative emerge. The cognitive winds blow differently now, carrying whispers of doubt where victory chants once echoed. These aren't external analyses, but internal voices questioning previous certainties. What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are insightful experts whose opinions matter. The shifting narrative. From optimism to stark reality in the conflict zone. The tone has dramatically changed in the politically turbulent region bordering Russia. Key officials are now painting a sobering picture of what lies ahead, marking a departure from previous optimistic rhetoric. A prominent parliamentary representative now warns of inevitable Russian military advances and calls for female mobilization, shifting from women as support personnel to potential frontline fighters. Military intelligence presents alarming figures: 1950 missiles and over 10,000 drones in Russia's arsenal. These aren't mere scare tactics. They're being used to explain the scaling back of ambitious goals. The focus has shifted from reclaiming territories to basic survival. Military experts warn of massive drone attacks, with capabilities for launching up to 600 units simultaneously. These statements come from within the conflict zone itself, not external propaganda channels. General Sirski's recent interview is telling. When questioned about liberating territories, his silence speaks volumes. He acknowledges Russian advancement while avoiding discussion of counteroffensive plans. In the capital, authorities are launching new safety campaigns. The emergency services stated that, even 2 walls won't save you now. Air defense officials admit that falling debris from intercepted missiles hitting residential buildings is normal, emphasizing the need to take air raid sirens seriously. This narrative shift is striking. Promises of imminent victory and territorial restoration have been replaced by warnings of increased attacks and calls for civilian preparedness. The discourse has moved from offensive ambitions to defensive survival strategies. The timing and coordination of these messages suggest a calculated adjustment in official communication strategy. It's a stark contrast to earlier optimistic predictions, indicating a significant reevaluation of the situation. What's noteworthy is the messengers. These aren't external voices, but internal authorities who previously maintained unwavering confidence. This transformation suggests a broader shift in strategic thinking and expectations management. Share your perspective. I'm eager to hear your analysis. Today's analysis focuses on a significant shift in media narratives and NATO's identity crisis. Let's dive into these interconnected developments. In the politically turbulent region bordering Russia, we're witnessing a remarkable transformation in public discourse. The rhetoric has pivoted dramatically from offensive ambitions to basic survival messaging. This shift isn't random. It's carefully orchestrated by key opinion leaders and military authorities. What's behind this pivot? 3 possibilities emerge. 1. A subtle preparation for capitulation, wrapped in face-saving rhetoric. 2. Groundwork for difficult negotiations ahead. 3. A soft landing strategy to cushion public sentiment. The most telling aspect is how the narrative has evolved. Gone are the bold declarations of victory and liberation. Instead, the message has become remarkably basic. We're still here. We haven't been destroyed. This represents a fundamental shift from ambition to mere survival, a clear indicator that offensive operations are no longer the priority. Meanwhile, NATO faces its own existential crisis as it turns 75. Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto delivered a striking assessment. NATO has lost its purpose. Coming from a member state's defense minister, this carries significant weight. Crosetto highlighted how NATO has transformed from a defensive alliance into an organization entangled in undefined conflicts, heavily influenced by leaders like Zelensky and Netanyahu. The alliance appears to be drifting from its original mission, becoming more reactive than strategic. The Italian minister raised a crucial question about his country's involvement in an alliance that seems increasingly directionless. This reflects growing skepticism among member states about NATO's current trajectory and leadership. These developments suggest a broader realignment in geopolitical dynamics, where traditional alliances and narratives are being fundamentally questioned and reshaped. The recent statements from Italy's Defense Minister Crosetto have sparked a crucial debate about NATO's current direction. What started as whispers in diplomatic corridors has evolved into open criticism of an alliance that increasingly serves one primary beneficiary: the United States. Think of NATO today as an exclusive fitness club where members pay annual fees but suddenly find themselves subscribed to someone else's war. The situation becomes even more complex with Donald Trump's potential return to power, a leader who views international politics as purely transactional. Spain recently faced criticism for allegedly not contributing enough, with Trump suggesting they should pay double in trade terms. It's as if we're watching a nervous political Tinder, where the US swipes right on allies who pay and left on those who question the status quo. The most compelling aspect is Italy's position. As the third-largest NATO contributor, Rome's potential reconsideration of its membership could trigger a domino effect. If Italy seriously contemplates reducing its involvement or leaving the alliance, both Berlin and Paris might start reconsidering their positions. What's particularly striking is how the Western neighbors' constant demands for support are straining these relationships. The promise of just a little more help for an endless conflict has worn thin. especially when European nations foot the bill for decisions made in Washington and London. The fundamental question remains: why maintain membership in a club that seems unsure of its own purpose? Moreover, why stay when that club automatically enrolls you in conflicts you never signed up for? This isn't just philosophy anymore. It's potentially the beginning of the end for the eternal alliance myth. European nations are awakening to a sobering reality. If NATO no longer represents peace, protection, and common sense, perhaps it's time to seek alternatives before it's too late. While Washington scrambles to draft reassuring reports, the cracks in NATO's foundation continue to widen. What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective.